Without a doubt, the most common mistake I see people make on their journey to a minimalist life is to start decluttering in the wrong place. Too often, we choose a difficult first step rather than an easy one. Now, just to be clear, I'm fine with whatever method works for you to minimize your possessions and free your life for more important pursuits. And if starting in a really difficult area and working backwards works for you and your family, then go for it. But for most people, the most effective strategy to minimize possessions is to start easy and work your way up to harder areas and harder spaces. That's the process my wife and I used years ago. That's the process I recommend on Becoming Minimalist and in the Clutter-Free app. So go ahead, start decluttering with your easiest step. But I thought it might be helpful to list some of the places that people are tempted to declutter first, even though they probably shouldn't. These spaces tend to end in frustration and exhaustion rather than success. So here we go. 10 things not to declutter first. Number 1, photos. Many people have boxes and boxes of old family photos that need to be curated. But spending hours and hours flipping through old family photos usually just leads to hours and hours more as memories surface. So save this project for later, and when you do, keep only the best. Number 2, sentimental items. Sentimental items might be around for any number of reasons: to remember a past season of life, a relationship, an experience, or an accomplishment. And again, holding on to only the best is a great filter. Remember that less is different than none. But wait for this step until you've experienced and noticed the benefits of owning less in other areas of your life. Because when you do, you'll find this easier to accomplish. Number 3, paper. Paper clutter is a real issue, no doubt about it. But you can spend hours working through just one small pile of paper and see no significant difference in your home. Instead, spend that hour removing larger possessions from your home first. You'll notice the progress easier, and then you'll be encouraged to keep going. Number 4, the garage. Similar to paper, large cluttered spaces like a garage or a basement take a lot of time, and a more noticeable change in your home can be better made elsewhere. Begin in an easier room that you spend considerable time in, like a bedroom or a living room. That'll pay off greater dividends quicker. And then, when you're ready for the larger spaces, check out my video linked below. Number 5, kids' toys. I speak to a lot of parenting groups, and when I open the discussion for questions, the first one is always the same. This minimalism thing sounds great. How do I get rid of all my kids' toys? And my answer is always the same. It is entirely unfair for you to begin your journey by forcing your kids to get rid of their stuff. You need to go first. When your kids see you removing the possessions from your own room and your own closet first, they'll be more prepared for when you eventually get to theirs, and you'll be more equipped to help them. Number 6, your partner's stuff. Similar to kids' things, you should never begin your decluttering journey by getting rid of your spouse's or your partner's things. In fact, I'd counsel you in almost every case not to remove your partner's stuff without including them in the process. It is simply too easy to see everyone else's clutter than it is to see our own. So you do your work, you set the example, and when your partner sees the benefits, he or she will be ready, and you'll be there to help. Number 7, drawers. I think it's important to move through your home, room by room, decluttering your unneeded things. But I also think it's important to start in visible areas first, because seeing progress is important, especially if you have a lot of work to do. So when minimizing a new room, break it into smaller projects if you need to, but start in the visible areas, not the hidden clutter like drawers and cabinets. Number 8, your collections. Your collections probably need to be decluttered, but there are some questions that need to go into this process first. Do I have too many collections? Am I going to continue collecting these things? Is there a better way to store or display these items? Personally, I have found that my opinions on these matters changed significantly as I pursued minimalism. As I saw the benefits of owning less, I began to question my collections in ways I hadn't before. And I believe you'll find the same to be true for you. Number 9, digital clutter. Don't start your decluttering journey by deleting emails. Again, you should do that and almost certainly unsubscribe from them as well. But digital clutter is different than physical clutter. Physical clutter carries more weight and burden than digital clutter. So start with your physical objects first. And number 10, books. I'm going to include books on this list not because it's a problem for everyone, but because it is a difficult task for many. If you love books, no doubt you own quite a few, and you may even feel the sense that you should own fewer of them. This is probably true. But if you feel an emotional attachment to books, you should hold off on this step, similar to all the reasons I've listed already. The Becoming Minimalist decluttering method is to work through your home easiest to hardest, starting with the most lived-in areas first. It's the method that is the most effective for the most amount of people because we gain momentum and motivation with every area that we accomplish along the way. And so with that in mind, don't start with any of these 10 difficult areas. Find an easier space to get started in first.